It is 5:15. I am so tired. I'm getting ready to go home, thankfully. But an update on Genesis. I mean, the decision has been made. Like, I know what I need to do. It's just a matter of me doing it. So I called today during my lunch break and I made an appointment for her. So as of right now, the appointment is set for this Sunday at 4 o'clock. And I told my parents and my brother. My sister can't come, obviously, because she's in Arizona. So they're gonna come down and spend the day with me, as well as spend some time with Genesis, because she's just as important and a part of their life as she is mine. So that's what's gonna happen, unless I go home today and over the next couple of days see like a dramatic change in her, which I don't think that I'm gonna see. Like, she's not even really eating. I tried to feed her again last night and she ate a little bit, but this is my favorite picture of her. I have it in here, and this is the picture that like made me a little sad, or like just gave me a reality check. So this is a picture of her on one of her birthdays. I don't remember which birthday it was, but you can just see, like, just look how happy and young and youthful and all of that she looks. And that's just not the dog that I'm seeing. And I know that she's older, so she's not gonna look exactly the same, but like, it's the emotion that I can see in her face, or the light in her eyes, that I don't see anymore. So that's what I'm going to do. Unless something changes. And I have moments where I feel okay about it. And then I have moments where I just get really sad and I start crying about it. So yeah, so I called today on my lunch. I made the appointment, which is a big step because I was having a hard time even thinking about picking up the phone to do that. So I know it's the right thing to do, but it's just very difficult. And I know I've said that over and over again, but that's just what I keep telling myself. So I've told my students, they are aware, because I let them know that I may or may not be on Zoom on Monday. Like, I may call a sub depending on how I feel. Like, I'm not sure. Like, right now I'm well enough to work, and the good news is, like, being here today and teaching was a great distraction. Like, it gave me something else to do and something else to think about, but she's still here. So that also helps. And I don't know if I'll be able to do the same thing and just view coming to work and teaching as a distraction after the fact. So I'm gonna try to just enjoy her as best as I can, even though I don't feel like she's enjoying much. I'm gonna go home and go on a walk and put her in the stroller and take her out and let her get some fresh air. Because I didn't do that yesterday because I just felt like I didn't want to move her. And I just needed to go on a walk without her to think about it. So that's that. And in all honesty, guys, like, this first week of being back in a hybrid setting has been very difficult. Not because of the kids. Like, the kids have been the easy part. The kids have been like the saving grace. The kids are great. My biggest complaint right now is that one class that I have after lunch that is like crickets. I just wish that they would kind of loosen up and participate a little bit more, but that's really been the biggest issue. But it's just been so exhausting. I think just emotionally, mentally, and physically. Obviously emotionally, we're just thinking about Genesis. Mentally, just, it's almost like starting virtual teaching all over again, like figuring out like efficiency things, how things are going to work, what worked before that now you need to change. So for example, one of those things is I have 2 separate Google Classrooms for my homeroom and my switch class, but now it's almost as if I need to manage 4 separate Google Classrooms. So within each class, there's a set of assignments that I'm assigning to the homeroom group and then the PM group, and then I'm doing the same thing for my switch class. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just arranging it so that the groups only see the materials at the time that is relevant to them. I tried just assigning it and just saying, oh, they won't touch it, but I just feel like that's too risky because not all the classes are gonna be in the same spot, and then some kids will open up things and turn things in when they shouldn't. Like, it just, so adding assignments to Google Classroom takes more time than what it already did because you're doing the same thing 4 times. So that has been just really exhausting, and then I'm not getting enough sleep because I've been going to bed late every night for the past, well, the whole week. And with the exception of yesterday morning, I'm still waking up at 4:30 to work out because I need to, and I feel like it's good for me, not just physically but mentally. I think it's just all catching up with me right now. I'm so tired, like so tired that I'm like, good thing my drive home is short because I'm that tired. So the hard parts, like I said about hybrid, is just like, and I want to clarify, like I've been noticing in the comments for some of you, when you say hybrid teacher or teaching, you're teaching with kids in class and on Zoom. And then for me, when I say hybrid teaching, I'm strictly teaching kids in person, with the exception of Monday when the kids don't even come on campus, they're just virtual. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. Those of you that are doing both, my hat's off to you, because I can't even imagine. So I felt like I wanted to clarify that. And I also want to clarify, the only reason that I'm not using my display right now is because I'm waiting on a cord. Like I need a longer HDMI cord, I think is what it is, so that the display can be in the middle of the room where the projector screen is and still be plugged in to the back of this computer. So I need a really long cord. And so it's been ordered and I'm just waiting on it to come. And I can't wait because I'm really looking forward to making use of that display, because already I feel like using the projector is so last year. So I was doing something today where I'm having the kids read something off the projector screen as well as on their screens, and I want to project the answers to them. And so that shuffle of me, you know, not just staying in my corner, sitting at my desk and teaching, but wanting to be around the kids and move around and talk, but then also have to come back to the computer to mark my answer, was driving me crazy. And so all I can think is when that display is plugged in and running, all of that will be eliminated. So that's why you may have noticed that my projector screen is down, and I'm not using the display. So what I needed today, just with the way the week has been going, is I just needed a really good teaching day, or a day where I felt like things were going relatively smoothly. And today was that day. Things went well. It didn't go perfect because no day is perfect, but I needed to come to school, have a good day, be distracted, and I did. And I thank my kids for being relatively good and just providing me a good distraction, because they know what's going on with Genesis and they've been very sweet about it. So today we are wrapping up reading these 2 essays in Study Sync that focus on the concept of teaching history through fiction. One makes a point, and the point is that teaching history through fiction is a good thing, and then one makes a counterpoint where it says that it's not a good thing, and then proceeds to explain why. And so today we were just comparing and contrasting the 2 essays, like looking for things that they had in common and looking for things that they didn't have in common. So I went ahead and just bit the bullet, and I upgraded my Slides and Go account to like the premium level. I think it's $10 a month or like $40 for the year, because they've gotten really savvy, as is usually the case with stuff like this, where they do give you access to a lot of free slides, but then within each slide presentation, there's different layouts that you only have access to if you pay that premium price. And a lot of times there's slides layouts that you would want to have access to. So I just said, whatever, fine. I'm just gonna pay the fee and then write it off in my taxes. So I use this slide presentation. I try and make one that's different every time, that's related to the topic and just something else for them to look at. So we listened to the essays one more time. The point, there is value in teaching history through fiction, and then the counterpoint, which said there is danger in fictionalizing history. We watched a vocabulary video that talked about comparing and contrasting, and then we did a read and respond to make sure that they were really, you know, aware of the different aspects of what comparing and contrasting can look like, whether you're reading something and comparing and contrasting, or being asked to write something and compare and contrast. So we did that. And then with the actual essays, these were the 4 categories I wanted them to look at: the structure, opinions and arguments, supporting evidence, and reliability. And these all came from Study Sync. So they did that, and we did groups. Of course, they didn't move around. They're still sitting in rows like that. but they did the virtual groups like we would do when we were in Zoom, so it was the same thing. And I told them though, I would really love it if you would not just rely on the Google Slides to talk and collaborate, but that you actually use your voice and talk to each other. So in the first class, or the first group, I just had them count off 1 through 4 and then try to arrange them so that they were close to each other. That didn't seem to matter because they didn't talk to each other verbally anyway. And then the second class, we did it, but I made the rows just behind them. And they did talk in the beginning. I think it was just when they were divvying up like what part that they wanted to do. But then after that was settled, they just didn't talk at all, which I don't think I'm gonna let happen next time, because when we went over some of the work, they weren't really familiar with what the other person in the group did, and that kind of was not my favorite thing, but we'll see. So they worked in groups, they compared and contrasted in those 4 categories, and then we talked through it together. And I told them, you know, if you didn't, these are the things that I would really want you to notice. And so I pointed those things out. And then we looked at one specific item to compare and contrast. And in both the essays, they present the statistic that the Boy in the Striped Pajamas has been, or the book, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, excuse me, has sold more than 6 million copies at the point of these essays being written. The first essay said, look, this book is great. 6 million people have bought this book, so it's a good thing. And then the second essay that said teaching history through fiction is a bad idea, their point was 6 million people have read this book, which is dangerous because that theoretically could mean 6 million people are misinformed or ill-informed about the Holocaust. So we discussed how even though 2 pieces of writing have different points of view and different opinions, they can have some commonality in the text evidence that they use, but use it in a different way. So we did that, and then I very briefly started getting them ready to start talking about the causes of the Civil War. So we talked about the Missouri Compromise, and we watched a very short video. We just talked about it, and I let them know that now we're moving on from Manifest Destiny, westward expansion, and talking about how that westward expansion started to contribute to other things that caused tensions in the United States that ultimately ended up in a civil war, and made sure that they understood that a civil war is when a country is at war with itself, and also to make sure they understood that the core issue in the Civil War was slavery and the state's decision to be a slave state or a non-slave state, and that was really the core of it. And that was it. That was as far as we got. So I had a good day. I'm getting ready to pack up. I'm not gonna lie, part of me is like, I want to go home obviously, but I'm a little nervous to go home because I'm like, what if I go home and like she's not even well, because she just isn't herself. So I'm gonna go and just, you know, hopefully everything's fine. I'm gonna take her out and I'm gonna try and go to bed early, and I'm just gonna accept that this is the week that I didn't cook at all. I have not cooked one meal today. I've spent money on eating out. I feel horrible about it, but I don't do it every week, and I'm working hard, you know, I'm working hard, and I can't even imagine having to cook. So that's where I'm at. I've just skimmed through some of the comments. I haven't responded to comments in days because this week has been just that challenging for me. So I see them and I appreciate them, so I want to make sure I verbally say that if I don't get to responding to them at all. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the vlog now because I'm tired, and just kind of quiet myself for the rest of the day. So if you enjoyed today's vlog and hearing about how my day went, please give this vlog a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you go over there. Well, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. There's nowhere you need to go because you're already here. But if you're not following me on Instagram, go over there and follow me if you'd like to see different aspects of my life as well, and my outfits of the day. I do want to say, just for a little fun, I did wear these shoes today, and they are super, super comfortable. So I'm so glad I bought them. I'm glad that man at DSW convinced me to do it because they are very, very comfortable. So, but as always, I hope that you guys are well, and if you are not well, please be well, and I will see you guys tomorrow.